Oh my, we're going wild right away, huh? This is why face checking is always so scary. But it has happened, actually. People realized how broken sheen effects are on Zeri, and we're watching Team Liquid Yeon right now on the champion. Hello, fellow MissFortuneDaBes. Welcome to this pro player analysis. And Trinity Force. It's not Lichbane, it's not an AP build that people are going for right now. But Trinity Force, actually, the perfect Zeri mythic item. So, what happened too, I predicted it last video. You remember, I guess, I hope. But people are actually combining it with the rune Ingenious Hunter, because lowering Trinity Force's passive cooldown actually means you get more in sync with your Q cooldown. Q both triggering and applying sheen effects, so you stack it super quickly. And you never run out of them because Q is literally a basic attack and doesn't cost mana. So, in this matchup, we are playing against buffed Senna AD carry. Well, I still prefer her as a support, but Senna AD carry is certainly a pick. The buffed Q, it now slows. The slow is not too impressive early game, but it scales quite hard with bonus AD, which also means it scales with souls, because souls give bonus AD, right? So, quite a scary scary matchup, because Senna can definitely match Zeri's range. Oh, is he ganking right away? It looks like it. Blue team a little bit overextended, but the counter gank, oh, that's nasty. That's so nasty. They got the flash there, though. And she saved her actual auto attack for the slow and Karthus, but not enough, really? I mean, yeah, they're gonna die, right? It looks like they... Oh, that's huge. Lulu picking up the KO. And Zeri barely surviving. That's crazy. I wanted to start talking about the build, but this... I somehow got a replay that's quite action-packed. Okay, that's a beautiful snipe there. The through terrain W hitbox, actually quite large. But let's talk about the runes real quick. So Ingenious Hunter, of course, crazy good with Trinity Force. It's the only item you really buy that benefits from it, but the benefit is so huge that you can't really pass. So, obviously you're not getting Ravenous Hunter, but you have your primary path. Most people are still going for Lethal Tempo on Zeri. Some people are going for Fleet Footwork. Fleet Footwork does have the higher win rate, but the lower play rate, so that's the caveat here. Obviously, win rates are more, let's just say significant for now, if the play rate is higher, because, you know, sample size matters. But in this matchup, you have to expect to get a hard time in lane against Karma and Senna. So the extra sustain from Fleet Footwork for the early game, in combination with Taste of Blood, we see the rune page right here, Fleet, Taste, and Bloodline are the regeneration runes, Bloodline more for the late game. Oh, they're going for it again. Alright, yeah. I mean, it's logical for Red Team. They know that Senna's flash is still on cooldown. So, yeah, you go for the repeat gank. She is immobile after all. And, well, once you get her with that stun, she's pretty much done for. So yeah, Zeri now with a comfortable lead. Also going for Sheen first component, simply because it is that broken on the champion. So the build in its entirety, well, you go for Triforce for the obvious synergies. It also is a great synergy with Zeri's ultimate because of the stacking mechanic. Zeri's ultimate stacking movement speed, Triforce stacking AD, stacking the damage, and you also have the, I don't know what the passive is called, but it's the same passive as Cleaver and Wit's End, where you get, I think it's called Fray. It has different names, so they do stack with each other. So if you buy both Cleaver and Triforce, for example, you get even more movement speed for hitting champions, which means you can chase more, which means you can get more Sheen triggers, you know. And this is also why many people still go for Lethal Tempo, because it just plays towards that late game power fantasy, where you just keep stacking and stacking and eventually become this unbeatable dueling machine. But yeah, Fleet Footwork, definitely the less greedy choice here, definitely safer. So completely understandable in a lane like this. But again, in more passive lanes, let's say you're against, I don't know, Vayne, who is pre-6 at least, not really strong, and a tank support. Sure, go for Lethal Tempo, perfectly fine. But yeah, Fleet Footwork, can't really go wrong with that in my opinion on Zeri. Why is she just standing there? Yeon, are you fine? Oh, he's trapping. Okay, it looked a little bit like AFK, but yeah, he was just baiting. Lulu was a little bit left alone there. She could have died. Yeah, okay, this looks fishy now. Maybe Karthus is there too. I mean, yeah, this is super risky. She's dead. Yeah, okay. You shouldn't really overcommit, especially when your support is not there. This is the one thing in League of Legends. The most important thing is numbers advantage, and normally you only need to really care about this when the jungler is involved or, well, in the mid and late game. But in the bot lane, you are constantly in the 2v2, so you need to constantly watch your own support, your own lane partner, or when you're playing support, you need to constantly watch your AD carry. How are they positioning? Are they ready to fight? Are you, I mean, even in terms of team size, like 2 versus 2, or is it a 2 versus 1? In this case, Lulu needs to back off, so Zeri just crazy overcommitting there. I mean, it happens, but still on a quite comfortable lead, I would say, with 3 kills, and, well, okay, it's fasting Senna, so you can't really compare CS values here, but, I mean, Zeri is still definitely stronger right now. You need to, however, be very careful with Senna, with her infinite scaling. Especially because Senna is still getting gold, but Karma is getting a lot of gold too, because she is farming. So the enemy team will have more gold, and they will scale harder. So yeah, mistakes in the early game can be quite costly against Senna. However, we're working towards Triforce here. Should be fine. So okay, let's now finally talk about... I've been trying to talk about this build all the time, but there's just so much action in this game. Oh no. Okay, whenever that W hits, I get a little bit worried. But when you have that dash, you can obviously still dash backwards, while the W... Well, Senna's W is not yet... or does not yet snare you. So, you should be fine if you're a little bit conservative with your cooldowns. Anyway, the build. Triforce, obviously first item. And Zeri still has... I mean, she has a little bit better wave clear than Ezreal, but she still has the problem of, if you're forced to fight in a minion wave, you deal very little damage, right? So, what people are doing, they go for Runan's Hurricane. And Runan's Hurricane allows you... Well, it's... okay. There's the all-in with Lulu ulti. This should be good for Zeri. This should be very good. Even without lethal tempo. Yeah. And now the movement speed, you can really see it starts stacking. We're at 520. Okay, now it's dropping down a little bit. But yeah, once you get that movement speed stacking with your ulti, you can just run people down. But yeah, Karthus saves the day, kind of. Revenge kills the Lulu, so they ultimately only trade 1 for 1. But, I mean, you're the AD carry, you got the additional kill, you're still alive, you can farm. But yeah, again, back to the build. Runan's Hurricane. Well, it applies on your Q, of course, because your Q is literally just an auto attack. And whenever you fight in a minion wave, you just passively attack the minions around you with your Runan's bolts. So they get cleared very, very fast, which means you then have a clear shot to auto-attack the enemy, to Q the enemy champions to actually deal your damage, right? Because you can't just rely on your piercing bolts with E all the time. It's only 3 bolts, and a team fight is typically longer than 3 attacks, so having the extra wave clear really helps. Also just, not for the wave clear by itself, okay, she should be fine. This is also crazy, your dash across the wall doesn't have any lockout for being in combat. I think this is a nerf we might see in the future, similar to how Samira was when she first got released. With her dash, she was just way too safe, because she could just dash anywhere and got resets, and then Riot noticed, okay, that's maybe a little bit too safe for an AD carry that wants to go ham, wants to go all in and chase. So they removed the dash towards allies, and now you can only dash towards enemy units. And I think the same thing will happen with Zeri, that Riot will ultimately say, okay, maybe skipping terrain mid-combat is a little bit too much, so whenever you're actually in combat, you can't dash over walls anymore. Might definitely be a thing in the future. But yeah, obviously when you have... Okay, now we have Trinity Force, huge power spike. And blue team, yeah, they greeded for that dragon a little bit. Oh, they got the dragon. No. I just saw red, and it's so confusing. I wish we could just swap the colors so this looks green for us when they are red team. Or bluish, or I don't know. But yeah, okay, red team actually punishing blue team heavily for overstaying for the dragon. And they're looking quite strong here, and Trinity Force, such a huge power spike. I really want to keep an eye on damage to champions. I want to see how much we actually do with this in this game. But yeah, obviously, back to the point, Runs Hurricane, very good stats for Zeri because movement speed is super important. Attack speed reduces your Q cooldown. And obviously, when there are... It's not just wave clear. When there are multiple champions nearby, you... Oh god, why is Senna fighting this? She's 2 levels down. She should never... Yeah, numbers advantage is important, but level advantage is also important, and item advantage. Oh, come on. Okay. Now Senna's playing with her range. Yeah, now they're kiting her out a little bit. But still, she's playing with fire. Anyway, you get the point, right? Runans, good item, because AoE damage, right? But, then the big one, Black Cleaver. Also core in this build. Black Cleaver has this unique effect. It's not an on-hit effect. It's the armor shred is what I'm talking about, right? It's not on-hit. It's on instance of damage. So, Zeri's Q is actually 7 rounds. The first one applying on-hit effects, but every single round will apply the on-damage effect from Black Cleaver's armor shred. And obviously also the movement speed buff. She should be fine, right? Okay, no, she isn't. Yeah, Lulu ulti not enough when Malphite is collapsing too. But Black Cleaver, you instantly shred all their armor and still stack even more movement speed with the Rage passive. It's just a crazy good item on her. Another item that's also core in this build is a Hydra item. Some people go for Titanic, some people go for Ravenous Hydra. I'm not really sure which one is my favorite here yet, but they're both gonna do the same thing because they add even more AoE and more wave clear to your... Okay. Yeah, okay, they just get murdered here. But it just adds even more wave clear. The AoE stuff from the Hydra item also applies on Runan's bolts, so there's an obvious combination there. And again, the faster you clear these minion waves and the more AoE damage that you... Oh my goodness. But she shouldn't get the kill there, I think. Senna's fine, yeah, okay. But that's scary. Whenever you have an all-in champion, like Zeri or I don't know, Samira, or even Vayne, when you combine that with Lulu's ulti, and then they just tumble in or dash in or whatever, they should die here though. Malphite again flanking. There's no way Zeri lives that. Yeah. Okay, Polymorph against Yeon. Okay, wow. Yeah, Lulu peel. Oh no, why is she going back in? This is not a good idea. She should be dying here. Yeah, Malphite ulti coming out. She's still alive. Wow. That's brutal. Okay, this looked promising for blue team, but it ultimately failed. They are so far behind right now. 5k gold. But I mean, I don't complain. We get to see Zeri's item build then, if Zeri gets gold. Yeah, now we have the Ruins Hurricane. This is the first 2.4k damage to champions already. We're at 15 minutes. And we have 5 Ingenious Hunter stacks. And okay. It does not, the total item activations, including Trinket, 14. It does not seem to count Sheen activations, yeah. Alright, I mean, that would be a little bit crazy, wouldn't it? If it just, that would be a skyrocketing number. But, well, your wave clear is amazing. Also, you can roam quite fast with that movement speed from the Zeal component. So, what you can do is you can play macro very efficiently with this build, because you just go to a lane, push it past river, and then roam. And you're doing it so quickly because, again, you melt minion waves, and you run also, well, with above average movement speed. So, playing macro with Zeri actually quite nice. Also, you can just dash over terrain. By the way, one more thing. In my last Zeri video, I was contemplating the challenger player we watched there. They maxed a W second, which... of course, increases the slow duration as well, so it's very, very good for utility. But I theory crafted that it probably is better with a more attack speed on hit style, or not on hit, but more a kiting attack speed physical damage build style. That would be better to just get your E cooldown as low as possible, so to max E second instead of W, and it's exactly what Yeon is doing in this game. As we can see, already 3 points in E. Getting the cooldown lower. Oh, okay, now she should definitely die. Why is she living everything? This Lulu is crazy. Like, literally, Lulu gives you so much leeway. You can play so recklessly, and she just saves you all the time. But, okay, I mean, Yeah, this Zeri is now running away with this game, isn't she? But again, where was I before Lulu interrupted me? Actually. So, with Triforce, and, okay, we're at almost 3k damage already. I mean, yeah, you can clearly see the value of Ingenious Hunter. Without Ingenious Hunter, I am 100% sure this damage would be, I don't know, it will still be high, but it would probably not be above 2000. It would probably be more like in that 1600 range. And here we have Black Cleaver. Okay, so if you look at this item, Carve, dealing physical damage to a champion, applies a stack of 5% armor reduction for 6 seconds. So, max 30%, that means 6 stacks max. So you insta-stack it with 1 Q, because Q is 7 instances of damage, and you also get 3 times 6, 18 movement speed right away from the Rage passive. This is just a perfect item for Zeri. And again, skill order. Emax second, whenever you hit an enemy with Q, your E cooldown is pretty much like Ezreal's Q, that reduces a flat amount of your cooldowns when you hit it. However, with E, it's just E, it's not all the other abilities, so that's not like Ezreal, but it's still a flat value that gets taken off of the total cooldown. So the lower you get this, the more this 1.5 seconds matters percentage. Oh, this is not good for them. Oh, the poor guys try to base in this bush. Anyway, the lower you get this, the more dashes you will get in a team fight, because, I mean, not of course you get, the lower you get this, the more dashes, duh, but the number of dashes you get in a team fight will grow exponentially. That's the big deal, because percentage-wise, the 1.5 seconds matters even more. And not only do we max this, so it's already at 11 or sub 12 seconds. Okay, so yeah, obviously ability haste is already factored in. It's sub 12 because not only we max this, but also because we have how much haste? 20 haste here, 20 haste, 25 haste here. So you can just go crazy in team fights. There's no running away from this champion once she starts hitting you. And look how reckless she's positioning. How recklessly she's positioning, because Lulu is behind her. But yeah, okay, now she might. Okay, I was about to say no, she might die. She actually did die. But I thought she would die because Lulu couldn't reach her with her ult, because Lulu needed to back off. But yeah, she died through ult finally. I mean, it's a little bit. She really pushed her luck there with this positioning. You shouldn't be that reckless, especially when you're ahead. You just feed away such a big shutdown when you just try to face tank, try to 1v9. You still need to preserve your shutdown goals to not enable the enemy's comeback. But I think in this situation, Karthus, okay, Karthus is alive. He is able to defend this base. Yeah, okay, they cannot yet finish the game off of this play. And we are looking at almost 4,000 damage with Trinity Force and Ingenious Hunter in combination. It's just so crazy. Like, literally, always go Trinity Force, Ingenious Hunter, and you're golden with Zeri in this patch. But, do we have more numbers we can look at? No, they don't show. And yeah, now we're building towards the Hydra item, Tiamat. Again, I think both are fine. When you have Black Cleaver and Trinity Force, you have quite a bit of bonus health, so Titanic Hydra is certainly an option. And especially when you have all the healing from Fleet Footwork, in combination with Bloodline and Taste... Well, Taste of Blood not really too important in the late game, let's be real. But still, Fleet Footwork plus Bloodline means you don't really need another lifesteal items or Omnivamp item or whatever. So Titanic Hydra is certainly a nice option. But when you go for Lethal Tempo, well, you can still go for Titanic Hydra, let's be real. But then... Yeah, okay, now she just kills everyone, right? But then the Omnivamp will matter a little bit more. Also the cooldown reduction, of course, giving you more dash. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, Yeon completely destroying them here. Yeah, more than 4k damage on Trinity Force. This is this is game over for them. But yeah, currently I'm doing more of these live commentary guide videos on Pro Player and Challenger replays, because I have a lot of stuff to do with university and I can't really script everything right now. But I do a lot of scripted guides too. So if you want to see how this channel, or what I do on this channel, then yeah, click the link on your screen right there.